Now it's time to launch your products. So this is the most exciting time. The anticipation's been building. You've been working your butt off for months now to actually find the product, to source the product, to create the listing, to do everything. You got your PPC lined up. You got everything ready to go, and it's time to come out to the world and show everybody what you've got and hopefully start generating some good cash and some good profits. There's basic steps to actually launching a product. The first one is you got to find the product. Second one is you verify the demand. Make sure there's enough keyword demand on Amazon already where you can squeeze in and actually take a piece of the market. You've checked the keyword demand and how you fit in. You've analyzed the competition to see what holes do they have in either keywords or in their images or in the way they're showing the listing. How can you compete? How can you one-up them? You found the manufacturer. You've created your custom packaging and made all your differentiation. Got your listing up and running, and now you're ready to actually say, come, the doors are open, come and buy. So what are the steps to actually do that? What do you need to factor in when you launch your product? If you have a list already of fans, whether you have an email list of people that have bought from you in the past, you're one step ahead. If you have a Facebook group or you have a social media group where you already have a built-in audience, you're going to want to use those to actually get everything going. For example, in one of my businesses, I sell wall calendars. And so these are pretty much, they only sell between pretty much mid-October and early February is when most of the sales happen. Most of the sales happen in November and December. People are buying them as gifts or to get ready for the new year. And so that's where the bulk, 80-90% of the sales happen in that time frame. But what happens is in September, I go out, I have a list of 17,000 people that have bought from me in the past that I've built up over years. It's taken me a while to build this. And I will email these people and I'll say, hey, the new calendars are available. They're on Amazon. I do this in September before things actually start getting crazy because I want to ride the wave. So especially if you're selling seasonality products, you want to get in when there's like 1 or 2 sales a day. And you don't want to try to launch the product when people are already selling 20 a day, because then it takes more effort to actually beat them or place second. But if I can get in when things are selling 1 or 2 a day and I just ride the wave as the sales get closer, it gets to the holiday, the higher and higher they go, I can do really, really well. So I send out an email to my list and say, hey, the new calendars are available. You can buy them from me on my website, pay $19.95 plus $9.95 shipping and handling. Or if you're an Amazon Prime member, just go to Amazon and buy them. And I just give them a link. And I have all my keywords and all my title and everything set up so that when that link comes to Amazon, Amazon sees, oh, someone just bought Kevin's title. These are the words, the 3 to 5 keywords that are in the title that I told you to target. This must be relevant for those keywords. Amazon puts a little checkbox in their mental brain on the A9 and says, okay, Kevin is relevant for these particular keywords. Let's keep a tally. And the more people that come in, the more I can become relevant on those keywords and the other stuff that's in the listing. And then I start showing up organically. And then what also happens, because I'm selling a collectible item, I have, say, 4 different calendars. A lot of them will buy all 4. So they're buying all 4. So they start showing up, and the customers who bought this also bought this, or customers who viewed this also viewed that. And then people are going and they're buying other calendars. They're buying a dog calendar, they're buying a calendar of islands, or they're buying whatever it is. So I start showing up on all those others, and it starts this snowball effect. So that by doing it early on in September before the season, as things start picking up in October and really ramping up in November, I just ride that wave and I crush it. So having a list is super important if you can do it. Newsletters are a great way to do that. We'll talk about that more. It's a whole different animal setting that up, but newsletters for the sophisticated seller are a great way to do it. Facebook groups, social media followings, your own customer list from another business or from something else that you've been doing, those are all great. But what if you don't have that to get the ball rolling? If you have that, you should use it, but you should also use it in conjunction with these other things that if you don't have anything, going out to influencers can be a great way to help things go. That's a whole another subject that we'll talk about. And we have someone talking about that, and Gracie is going to be on here talking about how to deal with influencers. She's one of the top influencers out there. I think she's got over 1 million followers on her TikTok. People pay her to actually promote their products when they're launching, but she's one example, and there's plenty of them. And working with the right influencers and having them generate user-generated content on TikTok or Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook can be a great way to get the ball rolling. And working with some of those people, and she'll give you some of the ins and outs of that. Another way is PPC. We talked about in the last module. You're going to have to spend heavy on PPC, and you're going to have to just be willing to lose a little bit of money to get the ball rolling. Back in the hand sanitizer days, during COVID, when I was selling that, we'd spend $50,000 to $80,000 on PPC in a week, just to try to get one product up and going, and because we knew we'd make that money back down the road, and that's what it is. There's people that do search, find, buy. Amazon doesn't like this, but there used to be services that do this. A lot of them have disappeared. But they would tell people, go search for this keyword, find this particular product, and then buy it. You can do that with your friends or family. You can tell your friends or your church or someone, say, hey, I just launched this product. Can you support me? You'll get a handful of people, and there's nothing wrong with that. They go and they search your product and then buy it, and that'll help you a little bit. It'll help start giving you a little bit of relevance on it. So I would recommend you do that. Don't ask them to leave you 5-star reviews or fake reviews or anything like that. Just say, go buy my product. If you search for this keyword, this is what it looks like. There's nothing wrong with doing that. That can help you get the base momentum going. You can go into the buy-in program, and you can get reviews. So you can pay a couple $100, and there's a couple different options. Depending on how many, there's a cheaper option depending on how many reviews you want to do. But you can go up to about 30 reviews in the buy-in program, and Amazon will go reach out to their own customers. They vet it and say, hey, we'll send you a free product. Leave a review. That can help get the initial volume going. There's companies out there that do surveys. So they actually will, they do user feedback. So they'll go out, you'll tell them, hey, I'm launching this product. I want feedback from customers. I want them to go and do the search process and take a screenshot video as they're doing it, and talk to me, and so I can understand what they like about the listing, what they don't like about the listing. And then they end up buying the product, and they walk you through that whole process. Those kind of services can help you sometimes actually launch. They're called product testers. And then, like I said, friends and family. But the number one thing that's probably going to drive the most is either the influencers or the PPC on Amazon, or maybe you're running stuff on Google. But it's a struggle at first because you have no reviews, you have no momentum. So you're trying to get out there. Now on Amazon itself, there's Amazon Posts. It's like an image-based feed, kind of like Amazon's own version of Instagram. It's free for brand registry. At some point, Amazon may start charging for it, but it's free. It enhances your awareness. It's never been a major driver of sales for me. It's worth doing, but it's not something that's going to like really move the needle a huge amount. But it kind of plays into the whole picture. There's Amazon Live. People like Gracie can actually do Amazon Live. Amazon Live is a hit or miss on it. It works in some cases, it doesn't in others. But Amazon Live, there's live. It's like QVC. It's like live shopping. This is huge in Asia. I mean, in China, people go on and they sell millions on Singles Day, sometimes $100 million worth of items which is their version of Valentine's Day, on a live stream. It hasn't taken off in the United States like it does in Asia. At some point, maybe it'll pick up a little bit of steam, but that's another option to help just get the ball rolling. Basically, when you launch, the message here is you want to hit it from as many angles as possible. You don't want to do just one thing. I'm just going to do PPC and nothing else. You want to send things in from as many signals to Amazon coming from all over the place as you possibly can. There's affiliate sites that that can Archer Affiliates and some others, Levanta, that can help you actually go out to affiliate networks. And so that what you can do to launch your product with these guys is you say, hey, these are people that have blogs, or they have other websites where they send traffic in exchange for a commission. Well, Amazon will they'll give them a small commission if they use a link. But what you can do is you can go to them and say, hey, if you drive traffic for the next 2 weeks to my page, I'll give you a 50% commission or a 30% commission, or even if you want to be crazy, give them 100.
Anh chị đang bán hàng trên Amazon. Skyrock cung cấp các dịch vụ dành cho các nhà bán hàng trên Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USPTO, từ Thailand, từ trên Scout, logistics và warehouse. Xem hình thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.
100%. I'll give you 100% of the sales for the next 2 weeks if you drive traffic to my site. You're going to lose money, but you're going to also probably make a lot of sales and help get that ball going, and you'll probably make that money back in a month or two, depending on the scale that you're at. So there's sites like that can help you and go out in these affiliate networks, and the bigger the commission you give them, Amazon's paying them something and you pay stuff on top of it. So Archer Affiliates or Levanta are two of the ones that can do that kind of thing. That's another way that you can actually help launch your product and get it going. The other is targeting other people's products, with your that's through the PPC, but targeting other similar products and trying to piggyback on them, working partnerships with, if you know other sellers that have a list, you can say, hey, if will you promote your new thing to your people, and when you have your new one, I'm building a list, but I'll be happy to help you, or I'll pay you a little bit of money. You can work out, get creative and do partnerships with people to actually sell. You can do press releases. Press releases are hit or miss. They're more for SEO and more for probably long-term play, but a good press release for a really good product, if it really is making a difference, can work. For most people, they're probably not going to work too well because they're not written well or they're not reaching the right audience, but press releases or are reaching out to journalists using something like HARO, H-A-R-O, help a reporter out, and reaching out to some journalist or some of the journalist databases and say, hey, I got a new product, I'd love to send it to you, would you feature it? Those type of things, having a whole media publicity campaign can work really well as well. So basically, before you do any of this, though, you want to actually make sure that your listing is tight. You got all your images in place, everything is ready. There's all your A+ content is there. Your inventory is adequate, because you don't want to do any of this stuff and then be caught with your pants down. So make sure you have a plan in place to you're ready to push that go button and that rocket's going to fire to the moon, or it's going to misfire and fall off the pad. So make sure you're ready to go on that. Start PPC immediately. Some people say, should I wait till I get some reviews to start PPC? Or should I wait till I get a few sales? Just start it immediately. It's going to cost you more money. You're going to be bleeding some money, but you need to get the ball going. There are people that will take a chance, and one of the ways you can make people take that chance is lower your price. So this strategy works really well. So let's say your price is going to be $19.95. That's the goal price. Well, run PPC heavily in the beginning, and maybe you put the price at break even. Maybe your break even price is $12.95. Or maybe you even say, I'm willing to lose $3 a sale. It's just a cost of marketing, cost of doing business. So I'm going to put my price at $9.95. Everybody else that is seeing ads is at $20 basically. And here you are at $9.95 with no reviews, no ranking yet. And so, but there's people that will take a chance. If your listing is good, your images are good, there are people that, oh, heck, for $10, what have I got to lose? Instead of $20, I saved $10. I'll give these guys a chance. The pictures look good. The listing looks good. I'll give them a chance, and you can start the momentum that way. And then you slowly raise your price up over time, or maybe over a month. You raise your price every 5 days by $1 or $2, and you just slowly raise your price up to where you get to that $19.95 after you get some reviews coming in, after you get a star rating, and that can be a very effective way. You remember the example I gave you earlier of the garlic press, that he launched that, and now he's doing $1.3 million in sales on a simple garlic press, and he had to fight, lowering his price, spending heavy on PPC, going in the hole big time for months, and then it finally turned around, and now he's making profit. Amazon itself is the same thing. Amazon started in the 1990, 1994, 1995, and for the first 15, 20 years, it was a running joke. Jeff Bezos would go on the late night TV shows and joke with the host. They'd say, when are you ever going to make some money? Oh, one day we'll make some money. They were playing the long-term game, losing money, building infrastructure, building warehouses, building distribution, doing everything, knowing that this thing will turn around and they'll start printing money like a freaking Federal Reserve at some point, and that's what they're doing now. And so sometimes you have to take that approach. Engage social media right away, whether it's through influencers, through your own social media channels. Let your friends and family know on yours. Let your church members know. Let everybody know that, hey, I've got a product, support me, help me out. Be careful with giving rebates to people. Some people say, if you go buy it, I'll give you the money back. Amazon doesn't like that. Sometimes they will never know if you do it, but they don't like that. There used to be services that do that, and they kind of frowned on them and shut most of those down. But those are some of the ways you can get the word out. And it's a momentum game. It just takes time. And hopefully, if you do enough of these things, the ball will start rolling. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, you'll start seeing significant results. So don't get impatient. Don't be, I just launched my product and nobody's buying it. that could be a problem. Maybe you got a really bad listing or you target the wrong thing. But don't get overly critical if things aren't taking off right away. As long as you're taking all these steps and doing all these things, you should be okay. Now, once you've launched, you need to keep track of everything. You need to monitor your PPC, make sure that stuff's not getting out of hand. Remember what Destiny told you earlier in the other modules. Make sure that's adjust your bids accordingly. Consider doing A/B testing. If things aren't, always be testing. Always be testing. So consider doing, whether it's through audiences and the PickFood tool on Helium 10 or through Amazon's A/B testing where they actually do it in real time. There's a difference actually. PickFood and audiences on the Helium 10 can be a great way to test things, but what people say and sometimes what they do are two different things. So using PickFood or audiences to get the initial feedback is a great mechanism and a great tool, but the real proof is in the pudding is when people put their wallets on the line. And when that's where Amazon can actually tell you the difference. So PickFood is great to whittle it down. If you got 20 different choices, whittle it down to the top 3 or 4 that the people say, and then take those 3 or 4 and then run them split testing using Amazon's tool where they automatically rotate it out randomly, where people actually hit that buy button. And then you'll really find out which ones are working and which ones aren't. That's what I recommend you do, and constantly be trying to improve. Never give up on that. Even if you're crushing it right now, you should still be doing testing and seeing if you can't beat it. It's called, in direct marketing, it's called a control. So the guys that write these big long letters, sales letters, in the old days, you might still get some of them now for fundraising and stuff, they'll have what's called a control. And it's like, this is the one that has the highest conversion rate and has the best. We send that every time we mail to our 10,000 fundraising people. 8,500 of them get the control because we know it works. The other 1,500 at random get our test one. It's a new letter that's got some slight modifications or graphics are different or something's different, and they're saying, well, this beat the control. Can I beat my best one? It's just like a runner, on a race is that they clock a 40 time, a football player, in 4.3 seconds. He's trying to beat that. Can I go to the combine and get a 4.2? You always try to beat yourself. Always be testing. Always be testing. Never just sit back and rest on your laurels. The influencer programs and the community stuff that you can do are really good. Build niche-specific communities or newsletters for your business. I mean, if you can build a newsletter, a true newsletter for your business, not just a promotional email, but a true, informative, entertaining, educational newsletter, that can be super valuable. That's more of something you probably want to do later, not when you first start. That's a whole nother business model, but it can be a very good 1-2 punch. You want to build niche-specific communities on TikTok, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. All the social media channels, leverage those, because a lot of times you can get free stuff. Do engaging things where you're creating things that are going to force people to respond, or tag other people in the industry, or reach out to other influencers in the industry and follow them, or make comments on their posts that indirectly, might promote you or get them to pay attention to what you have, and they'll promote you. They'll promote you for free if you have a relationship with them. The best influencers, as Gracie probably said, are the micro influencers, not the big Kim Kardashians and the big ones, but the ones with 5,000 to 10,000 followers. Those they're usually the most engaged, the most relevant. They have high engagement on their posts. It's not about the number of followers. It's about the engagement when you look at an influencer. So don't be misled by someone's got a lot of followers. Look at how engaging their posts, how many comments, how many likes, how many shares are they getting. That's the metrics that you want to look at, not the number of followers or how often they post. External traffic can be great. Like I said, Google can be a great source of traffic, running, especially with a brand or referral link where you get that 10% back. If you have a brand presence on social media, you have an official brand site on LinkedIn, official brand site on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Pinterest, all the big major social medias on Meta's new one, Threads. Having at least a presence there with a link to your Amazon storefront can sometimes add a little bit too, so you should establish that as well. So those are some of the basics on what you need to know for actually launching your product. Just remember, it's not an instant overnight thing. It was that way 10 years ago. When I first started, you could launch in a day or two. Back then the rules were different. There was Zon Blast and there was Viral Launch and all these crazy things where you could literally go from day 0 to day 1 and be the best seller and stay. But Amazon shut down a lot of that stuff, and a lot of those techniques don't work anymore. So now it's more of a long-term brand play, and it's something that can be great, but just remember, you need patience and you need to stay on top of it and analyze and adjust as needed. Good luck, and I hope you have a winning best-selling product soon.
Anh chị đang bán hàng trên Amazon. Skyrock cung cấp các dịch vụ dành cho các nhà bán hàng trên Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USPTO, tuần theo LIêN, tuần chơi Scout, logistics và warehouse. Xem hình thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.